Go for it.
Awesome. Thanks again, Max. So my name is Mikita, and I'm the founder and the CEO of PandaDoc, product that helps salespeople to automate their work with content and documents. My first sales job was at a fruit stall at a farmer's market in Belarus, small country in Eastern Europe, where I'm from, and thus you enjoying this bored-ish accent. I sold berries, and I sold a lot of them, actually. And in my current role, I run a software company that sells tools to sales departments. We focus on the bottom line of the funnel, content, documents, and we help over 1,000 companies to deliver beautiful, engaging, and actionable sales collateral. We've been doing it for almost 4 years. Started with a product called Collateral, and through our history, hundreds of thousands of sales proposals, quotes, sales contracts were built and sent through our products. To get started, I wanna kind of take a step back and talk a little bit about how businesses are buying things today. We're a team of about 40 people, and as a CEO, I make many buying decisions myself. For example, I buy software, insurance, office equipment, marketing, recruiting, and all kinds of other services and things. And when it comes to buying something small or simple, I just buy it online. Even though I'm a sales guy myself, if possible, I do my best to avoid talking to salespeople when I already know what I'm looking for. It's a simple decision. I just want to save my time and do it online. But when it comes to more complex purchases, I do a little bit of research and then talk to a salesperson. That's because, let's say, selecting something like a CRM, which a dozen or more of our employees will have to use for the next few years, it's a big decision. It affects a lot of people, and the right purchase can have an enormous impact on our bottom line. That's when I definitely want to talk to the vendor before I make that decision. That said, even if a salesperson approaches me first through a cold call or let's say an email, I want to do my research first. Often, personally, I won't even reply until I've looked them up online and vetted them first. And actually, that's typical for business customers these days. They conduct research first, then speak with a sales representative. In fact, Forrester claims that today's buyers might be anywhere from 2/3 to 90% of the way through their journey before they reach out to a vendor, and that's what this slide shows. So it gets easy to research now. For customers, purchasing anything and everything has become a lot easier. Technology empowers consumers who can quickly discover any type of information online on vendors' websites, Wikipedias, Quoras, and a bunch of other places. Now the question is, do the buyers always have the right information, the right content about your product and service? Because websites kind of sabotage their own success as they grow and get bloated with information. Over time, you're going to have dozens of case studies, a number of products or solutions. Your pricing will get more complicated, and there will be a lot of irrelevant content to a specific buyer. Try to go to Salesforce.com and find a lot of relevant information on help desk software for small businesses. They sell that, but there's just a lot of stuff there now that doesn't make the website the best source of truth for that particular purchase. And all the relevant stuff is going to be scattered all over the website, all over the place, which makes sharing it also among the peers really, really difficult. That's where we need salespeople. It's the job of a salesperson to talk to a buyer, understand the need, and set a foundation for their knowledge about your product or service. We all know that. Now, the way we like to go about it, the way we like to go about building a foundation for information, for the content about our own product and our own service is a sales proposal. That's where we put all the answers the buyers need. That's where we want our buyers to actually start their research and learning journey. Sales proposal is kind of a seed that we like to plant in their head, along with the conversation with the sales rep, because it's not the website. It's much more narrowed. It's much more focused piece of the information. It's much easier to navigate it, and it speaks to the specific needs of the buyer. It helps driving the buyer through the journey, and it is really easy to take an action on it. That way, the buyer is focused only on the information we want them to be focused on. It also means you won't wander around the internet to find the wrong information. Now, I want to talk about the sections and the structure that we and many of our clients put in the sales proposals, as well as the sales hacks that we've discovered over the course of these years to help us to close more business, to help us to close more deals. So the first section I want to talk about is the cover letter. The old saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover, but that's what actually everybody does. 9 times out of 10, the cover letter is the first thing the client will look at, and they will totally judge you by what you say there. So you got to be neat and snappy. We actually require our salespeople to write each cover letter individually. The data shows some interesting stats. There were dozens of thousands of sales proposals sent via PandaDoc. And funny enough, analytics shows that of the proposals that were built and accepted within our product, almost 72% of people's time is spent on the first and last sections of the sales proposals. The last one is the dotted line. That's where they usually get assigned. And the first one is the cover letter. A lot of people will actually, let's say if you're sending a sales proposal to a few people, if you're a champion, decision maker, validator, a lot of people will not go below the cover letter. That's why it's really important not only to make that cover letter personal and about them and engaging, but also put kind of like a very short pitch on their problem and your solution. The next section is the section where you gotta first address their problem and talk about them, and only then talk about your company and your solution. Immediately after the cover letter, introduce the problems your clients face, the unique solution you offer. You don't have to always write this section from scratch, because in many cases those problems and the solutions are going to be sort of say the same. The simpler your product is, the more similarities you'll discover. But what you can do is you can build a content library with the most common problems and the most common solutions that your sales team can just copy and paste or drag and drop in the body of the proposal, just to save them time. It's really important that you position your sales pitch in a way that's relevant to their industry, business size, and a specific use case. You want to gauge their interest. The first section has to be about them, about their problem, about their processes. Make sure you make it relevant. If you're selling to, let's say, a marketing automation, if you're selling, let's say, a marketing automation software, and your buyer is a small construction business, try to make it sound like you're selling a marketing automation software for small construction businesses, that you're specialized, that you've helped dozens of companies with a similar background and problems, because that making it relevant is the best and almost the only way to make them really pay attention and read through that offer and that proposal. The next section that you almost always put in a sales proposal is the pricing information. And there are two very important rules about pricing. First is kind of obvious. Like your salespeople have to discuss pricing before they roll out the quotes. You got to be on the same page about client's budget. Your solution has to fit their budget. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to waste time in building sales proposals or any other or contracts or whatever. Your reps need to know the buyer's budget. That's the period. But once you know their budget, and once they approximated pricing for this buyer, they also need to approximate the ROI of buying your product or service. If the ROI is high, and you can make it visual for the buyer, it might be actually a really good idea to make ROI section visual. If you have an ROI calculator, absolutely put it in the body of the proposal, because again, analytics shows is that this is the section where buyers spend a lot of time. Put the ROI in there, and that's going to help on negotiating the deal. That's a great hack. That's a great section to have in your sales collateral. But another hack that we also discovered, that actually our clients helped us to discover, is to add optional, somewhat a la carte items in the sales proposals. Letting your customers buy nice-to-have products or services in addition to main product or service can increase your revenue up to 10%. It can also help you to make discounting easy. The way we so here's what we do. Within our pricing tables, we add optional items for professional services. So we help sales teams to build and deliver sales collateral. And one of the professional services that we offer is help with designing their sales collateral. We have designers that help businesses, help sales teams to convert their existing documents and that make them pretty. So that's an optional item that our clients can just basically buy a la carte right on the proposal that they get over email. And what we discovered is that, first of all, a lot of people actually buy that service, as well as a lot of our when you do a follow-up call on that proposal, sales reps can actually sell those things over the phone, and it's fairly easy. But what's also important is that if the price becomes an issue, and ROI is there, what your salespeople can do is they can discount those optional products and services by whatever amount without discounting your product. Because you definitely don't want to discount your product. If your product gets discounted often, and there were a lot of conversations on that front. You don't want to discount your product, and that's just the easier way to run business. So, but you can absolutely discount optional items, nice to have products and services that you can add within your proposals. The next hack that actually helps to close more business is to have a section within a proposal for your defense. Your buyers will talk to your competitors, and your competitors will more likely bash your product or service. If you have great salespeople, they will know who you're competing against in that particular deal, and who you're going against. And the right defense is to be proactive about addressing the differences between your offerings and those of your competitors. And the way to do it ethically and legally is to leverage one or two instruments. Comparison tables that just showcase the facts and compare you to the competitors you go against that your customer is evaluating. Again, that is a piece of content that your marketing team can build in the library, so that sales reps can just drag and drop the content from the content library. They don't have to create it from scratch all the time. That would take too much time. As well as what you can also do is you can add testimonials from clients who switched from your competitor, and other items that convince the buyer that your product is the right solution for them. When you include your clients' testimonials, it is not only a social proof, but it is also like a truthful statement from a relevant business that says, yeah, I used one thing and I switched to your product, and I'm having a success. We get a lot of again, in proposal analytics shows us that a lot of client time is being spent on this particular section. Yeah, speaking of testimonials and case studies, reviews of your product are going to be all over the internet, on social media, forums, blogs, and buyers will have access to good, bad, and very ugly ones, right? An important question is, will those praises really matter to the buyer? Because if I'm a small business, I don't care about marketing automation software that works for Fortune 500 companies. Similarly, most large enterprises cannot relate to smaller companies that face different issues and have different use cases. If we're selling our product to a small marketing agency, we include positive reviews and testimonials from some of our happy small or mid-sized customers. If we're closing a deal with a Fortune 500, we feature testimonials from some of our other paying Fortune 500 customers that are happy. We discovered about testimonials, though, it's the second to legal section of sales proposal that gets the least of buyers' attention. And at the same time, sections with videos get almost 5x time spent on average comparing to the sections without, with a plain text. So if you want your client praises to be heard, make video testimonials from your clients. Those are definitely going to be watched and remembered by the buyer. That's kind of a hack that we try to use internally, and that works really well. Prospects watch the videos. People like videos. Then the next section that you want to have within a proposal is the legal content. Well, first and foremost, your legal content has to be a standalone section of the proposal, and that should be the only section that their lawyers would want to but want to step into and redline and so forth. That's the section that you usually, just like if they want to redline it, you take it out as a separate document. You let the lawyers do their job, like redline, negotiate, and then you include an updated final draft back in the proposal that everyone signs on. You should absolutely restrict sales reps from altering the legal terms. Otherwise, you're risking, you take a huge risk, and that is one of the biggest client requests of our own product, like ability to restrict the terms. And you want to make it easy for the legal team to make the modifications and customizations to the terms and conditions and clauses, because there's nothing worse in this world than waiting on your legal team to review your contract or make modifications or redline on whatever section within it. It just crashes sales rep productivity, and it's not good. And finally, whatever you do and whatever business you're in, if you have contracts, if you have purchase orders, if you have proposals or quotes, get clients' signatures, get their electronic acceptance, get their yes on those documents. Use whatever product is out there. There's a bunch of electronic signing tools, but absolutely use one. Make it easy for your client to sign on the dotted line. A lot of that stuff, like you're gonna find out that a lot of your proposals, a lot of the quotes are going to be read on the mobile devices. A lot of them are actually going to be accepted on the mobile devices. Over 12% of the proposals that are done within our product are actually signed on a mobile phone. So you definitely want to make it easy. Like, and if it's signed on a mobile phone, there's definitely no printer around. There's definitely no scanner around. Maybe that buyer is riding a train home, or she or he is on vacation, sitting on a chaise longue, and it just make it easy for your buyer. That's going to improve your bottom line, and that's going to help your salespeople be a lot more productive. If possible, you may once that contract or proposal is signed on, if possible, you may also want to integrate your billing system or invoicing or payments provider, so that you can get paid instantly. They sign on that document, then they pay for it. And those are all the sections that we put in our sales proposals. We like to consolidate all the information out there within one document. We like to use that document as the foundation for their research, for buyers' research, for their discovery. And throughout the buying journey, we pretty much walk them through each of those sections: cover letter, problem and solution, pricing and ROI, our defense against competition, the social proof, legal terms, and finally, signature. What we found out after we've started to build a library of content to assemble those documents from, because really all the sales proposals and all your sales collateral is going to be kind of the same. Cover letters are going to be custom. Problems might be custom. Solutions are going to be repeat each other, and then everything else is going to just be like little Lego pieces that you put together. So what we did, we started building a library of content for our sales team that grew over time to hundreds of items. So what we discovered is that through using this library of content, our salespeople actually get a lot more familiar with our product, with our clients, with the testimonials. Not only that works as a closing tool, but also works as an enablement tool, an onboarding tool. The first thing our new coming reps got to do, they got to go through our Sales Enablement library and read through the documents, read through those content pieces through our sales collateral, and familiarize themselves with our clients, with case studies, with some of the battles we were through, and some of the clients we won over our competitors, and so forth. That helps to really build the structure, and that helps to scale your team, because after you have a set and defined process for a close, it's a lot easier to grow it. It's a lot easier to multiply it and scale your company, scale your business.